What is good, everybody? I'm the Shadow Sage. This is part 1 of what Minato's spirit was sealed inside of Naruto. And before we get into this video, I just want to thank everybody for being patient with me despite me taking a pretty long break. And you know, my numbers were still climbing and I'm so grateful to everybody who stuck around. And also, I want to thank my Discord for giving me this idea. We have a great time there, you should join it. And I'm going to keep the like goal relatively low because I got this from a Discord server. And it's going to be 300 likes and I hope you all can reach it. And now without any further ado, let's get right into the video.
Nothing can stop me, I'm all the way up. All the way up. I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up.
So I know this sounds like a far-fetched idea, but it's actually pretty simple. When Minato seals Kurama inside of Naruto, as well as himself and his wife, he's near death and he accidentally messes up the jutsu. Instead of sealing a bit of his chakra into Naruto that will manifest at the Eight Tails, he seals his spirit inside of Naruto instead, and that means he's gonna be just like chilling inside of Naruto the way Kurama is inside of Naruto. And up until Naruto is 4, Minato can't really communicate with Naruto because you can't really hold a conversation with a child that age, especially like a voice in his head. That would be pretty weird. And also, he had proper caretakers until then, because it was at age 4 when Danzo leaked information about Naruto being a Jinchuriki. And after that event, we really don't know how Naruto takes care of himself in canon, but we do have a vague idea. And basically, what we think happened due to like the novels and stuff like that makes us think that, you know, he was basically just given food and money, and then he just was responsible for the rest of his life. And I think at this point, since Naruto has no more caretakers and he's just on his own, Minato would be very, very appalled by Naruto's living conditions, and he would try to introduce himself and raise Naruto by himself. And we know that Minato just wanted Naruto to live a very normal and happy life, so he wouldn't tell Naruto about him being the Hokage or Naruto being the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails that wreaked havoc on the Leaf many years ago. Oh, and I forgot something. He also tells Naruto to tell nobody about this whole like Minato spirit being inside of Naruto, because that would be pretty suspicious. And once Naruto gets older, he'll actually be a lot more mature, healthy, and a lot happier. And that'll be because he has a very devoted and caring father looking after him. And what I mean is that Minato is gonna raise him correctly, unlike Hiruzen. Basically, he'll make sure he gets his 9 hours of sleep, balanced diet, not just ramen, and he'll also teach him manners. And as much as we hate Sakura when she complained about Naruto being an orphan to another orphan, she was technically right. We really criticize Hiruzen for not raising Naruto right, and Sakura points that out. She was just incredibly rude about it. And in turn, Naruto's a lot taller, better built, and he's also a lot more mature. And with him being a lot more mature, he also won't pull a lot of pranks, and that ties into what I said earlier as well. He's a lot more happy, because you know that his pranks don't just only stem from his immatureness, but also his desire for attention. But now he has the soul of 24/7, undivided attention of his father, so he has no need to pull pranks, so that's 2 reasons that he's more mature as well. And Naruto's personality has really shifted a lot. He's more like his father than his mother this time, because it's said that like you really are influenced by the person you spend the most time with, and that would be Minato, because that's probably one of the only people he actually spends time with other than Iruka Sensei. But that's actually really later on. We're still talking about pre-academy stuff here. And I also think that before Naruto starts the academy, Minato would start training him in the basics, just like how all the other parents teach their kids in the Naruto universe. And so when Naruto reaches the age to start the academy, he won't be the same lazy prankster who's attention seeking, but rather a calm and collected genius, just like his father. And I believe at this age, Minato would decide to tell Naruto the truth. He would believe that Naruto's mature enough. He would reveal his true identity as the 4th Hokage, and that Naruto is the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, and that's why he's hated by the whole village. And that his mother was the previous Jinchuriki, and that's why she was also hated by the whole village. And this would all be a shock to Naruto, just like in canon when he found out from Mizuki, but this time it's going to be a lot easier for Naruto because he's more mature, and it's coming from someone that he trusts. Actually, he trusted Mizuki, but he was just betrayed, but like, it's someone that like he actually loves. It's coming from his father, so it's a lot easier to accept. It's also at this point where they would decide to tell somebody about Minato being inside of Naruto. And this person would be Hiruzen, and Minato was not happy with how Hiruzen treated Naruto growing up, but he does agree that this would be the best person to tell about Minato's current situation. And when Naruto is telling Hiruzen, he would be pretty suspicious, but he does think that it is plausible. Because, like, how would Naruto know that Minato's his dad unless Minato is there actively telling him? And how would he know so much about Minato? And when Minato switches with Naruto, the way Kurama could switch with Naruto, he's fully convinced. And after hearing the whole story, Hiruzen agrees with Minato's assessment that this should all be kept secret. And this is for the same reason as in canon. They didn't want Minato's enemies to find Naruto and target him. And now let's get back to what I was talking about before, Naruto entering the academy. So basically, Naruto's gonna be hated like in canon because he's a Jinchuriki, and all the people's parents say, oh yeah, that's the demon child, stay away from him. but his new personality and his skills in this timeline do make him a little bit more popular and accepted. But do keep in mind, he's only a little bit more popular. He's not, fucking Sasuke, you know, pulling out the hose and shit. And even though he's still not popular, he doesn't mind it because obviously he has found peace with his father, because at least he has one person to spend his time with. And eventually a few years pass, and Naruto is graduating from the academy with flying colors, and he is the top of his class. And the only person coming close to him is Sasuke. And in canon, since Naruto is the only one who failed from their graduating class, Mizuki has no one to trick into stealing the scroll of sealing for him, so he decides to do it himself. And since he's fodder as hell, he's gonna get caught pretty easily. And in the end, the only difference is that Naruto and Naruto don't get their little bonding moment, but that's it. And the next day, the incoming Genin are going to be assigned to their 4-man cells, and the teams are not going to change. But in the comments, everyone loves to bring up, oh, they did it by class ranking, yada yada yada. No, they didn't. This was retconned. You really think that they would send children on life and death missions just on random teams? Really? No. And this was seen in a flashback where Hiruzen specifically assigned each student to a specific jonin for a specific reason. And just for future reference, this is why I never changed the Team 7 squad, unless each character has a fundamental change to them. And one example would be Sasuke not being an Uchiha. And now moving on. Once all the teams are assigned, the jonin are going to come to collect their students. And just like in the original, Kakashi will be the last one to show up. But once he does show up, they head to the roof to announce their dreams. And all their dreams would be generally the same. And that's obvious for Sasuke and Sakura. They would have the same ones, that has no reason to change. But for Naruto, I think that his dream wouldn't change, but rather his reason for wanting to be Hokage. And in canon, his reason was getting respect from all the people in the Leaf Village. But this time he doesn't really care about that. This time he just wants to be like his dad because his dad inspired him. And once all that is wrapped up, Kakashi's going to tell them about the bell test and tell them not to eat, and then he dismisses them. And on a side note, I wanted to add that Minato can recognize the mental state that Kakashi is in, and he's sad that he's still depressed even after all these years. And once the next day rolls around, Kakashi's late as usual, and once they start the test, Minato's gonna know the true goal, but he won't tell Naruto because he wants his son to pass the right way. And once the test actually starts, it honestly won't go much different than in canon. Naruto is rolled up to Sasuke, and Sasuke got slapped in the canon timeline. And after all three of them go for the bells individually, Naruto and Sasuke do end up touching the bells, but they're not able to get them. But due to their rivalry, they refuse to work together. And I have to establish that their rivalry started much earlier in this timeline, and that's because Sasuke only acknowledged Naruto as a true rival in the forest in the Land of Waves, where they learned to tree walk. But this time, since they're the top 2 students of the academy, this makes their rivalry even stronger, and right off the bat, as a matter of fact. So this incentivizes them not to work together even more. And I know I said that Naruto is a calm and collected type in this what if, but when it comes to competing with Sasuke, he can get quite petty. And eventually Naruto and Sasuke are gonna get tied up to the stumps for just competing and being pricks to each other. And only Sakura is gonna get food because she was not competing with them. She's just useless and couldn't touch Kakashi. And she's gonna get lunch, and obviously since she's such a massive fucking simp, she's gonna give Sasuke food. But like in canon, Sasuke's gonna be the bigger person and say, let's feed Naruto as well so we can pass. And like in canon, Kakashi's gonna be secretly watching this, and he passes them. And now that Team 7 is official, they're gonna start going on their normal D-rank missions, and the night before they get a new mission, Naruto's gonna ask Minato if they're ready for a harder mission, and Minato says that, yeah, they are. And so the next day rolls around, and Naruto requests a C-rank mission, but Minato makes sure that he's way more polite this time, instead of being super rude to the Hokage. And obviously Hiruzen will approve, and even more confidently this time, because Naruto's even more skilled, so they have a stronger team. And after that, they're introduced to Tazuna, and they embark on the Land of Waves mission. And as they're all walking, Kakashi and Sasuke will notice the puddle like in canon, but this time Naruto will as well, and that's when the demon brothers pop out and attack them. And this leads Kakashi to use a substitution jutsu and fake his death like in canon, but then Naruto and Sasuke easily neutralize the two enemies. And this time, since Naruto wasn't a little bitch boy and actually did something, he won't get called a scaredy cat by Sasuke, so he won't have his whole monologue about never giving up and never running away, and he won't stab his hand because he was never poisoned. And also, Kakashi will question Tazuna about the rank of the mission like in canon, and he tells them the truth, and they all decide to keep going like in canon, so nothing really changes. So they keep walking, and eventually a giant blade comes flying at them. They're all able to dodge, but when Kakashi sees the blade, he immediately knows what it is. He tells the other 3 to stay back, and that he won't let another comrade die. And that's where I'm going to wrap up this video. If you did enjoy, remember to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. And also check out the other videos on my channel. If you enjoy this one, I'm sure that you'll enjoy all of the other ones. Also, let's reach a like goal of 200 likes, and then that's when you're gonna And that's when you're gonna get a part 2. God, I can't talk. Now, without any further ado, remember to stay safe and have a great day. I'm the Shadow Sage, signing off.